Time for another 7-minute insight. This time we're going to take a look at how leveraging technology for automation and improving speed to market in the supply chain is going to work for brands and for manufacturers. And to discuss this, we have Gunish Chander Jain, Managing Director of BlueKaktus.
Is it ready? Okay. Hi. Good evening. I have 7 minutes to talk, so I'm going to try and keep it very short and sweet. And I'll just give a little bit of background about my background. I think it's important sometimes when you're listening to a speaker who you really don't know. So I come from a fashion background, and I've been in the garment trade for about 25 years. Don't look that old, but yes, 25 years. I used to run a fabrication unit in Govindpuri in '92. So I've been from this trade and been involved with manufacturing, working with brands like H&M, and started my own kidswear brand. We've been there for about 10 years, mostly in US and UK, under our own name, and was extremely frustrated by the level of technology which was available. And being a little bit tech-oriented, I thought, okay, let's start building something of our own. And after a while, I realized it was far more interesting to build technology and implement technology. So I left the company and I started a tech company, which is BlueKaktus. Today, we have got about 400 odd manufacturers and brands on our solution. And what I'm going to talk today a little bit about, focus a little bit more on the supply chain side of it. On this particular forum, India Fashion, a lot of focus has been on the front-ending, digitization of the front end, the customer experience. But one of the big challenges that we've seen that brands are now facing is their inventory levels are very high. And they are talking about 40 weeks, 80 weeks of inventory levels, and a lot of cash flow is getting stopped. So what our company focuses on is helping companies improve the speed to market. How do we get a garment? So for example, I can think of a great garment and say, this is what the fashion trend is. But if it's going to take me 18 weeks or 20 weeks, or even actually in most brands, it's taking them 1 year from conceptualization to having the garment on the store, then you've actually lost sales, and that's where you've got this 60% discount, 70% discounts happening. What we work with is helping crush this lead time, improve speed to market, get it down from 30 weeks to 20 weeks to 20 weeks to 10 weeks, and actually getting down into few weeks. We can get our speed to market, and that's what we basically focus on, leveraging technology to do this. How can we automate it? And that's where AI comes in. So enabling a future-ready fashion company, that's what our motto is. That's what we work towards, helping companies become more lean and nimble and become future-ready. I gave a little bit of background. We've been around for a while. I've been in this company recently only. Currently, we've got about 400 odd fashion companies, mostly more in the outside space. What are the key features of a future-ready company? One, great, outstanding customer service. Customers want it. We all are consumers. We want the right product right away, whenever we want it. Companies need to be nimble and agile. So, for example, just to give you a quick idea, I know today what is selling, right? So, as a fashion brand, I know what is selling in my stores today. The problem is, I can't do in-season ordering because it takes me 20 weeks just to get the garment in. So I know if I had green shirts are selling really well, if I had tons of green shirts, I'll be selling lots of it, right? But I know I'm going to run out of green shirts, and by the time I'm going to get the next batch coming in, the fashion might have changed. Green might no longer be in fashion. And the other big challenge which companies are facing is Instagram. Instagram is actually defining the way how quickly fashion is changing. So one, nimble. How do we create nimble organizations? Leveraging technology. How do we create, when I say internet-enabled, I'm not talking about online e-commerce. Basically, the number of seasons has increased dramatically. So anybody who's been in this trade knows, previously you used to work on 2 seasons, then it became 4, then it became 12. Today, the concept of season is finishing off. You actually sell whatever is selling. So if I think, blue dresses are selling well, ideally, I want to tell to my supplier and says, please make 15, make these blue dresses, and I want them tomorrow, and so that I can sell tons of blue dresses. Okay? That's where the business is going. The winners will be the ones who actually can operate like this. Finally, Okay, this is right product at the right time. So what do? Uh, we look at integration of the entire supply chain, which is both internal and external stakeholders. So right from tech pack creation, how do we automate that? How do we mine the data? How do we digitize your entire creation process? So traditional ways, you will have designers designing it. Maybe they could be using a 3D CAD system, etc. But how do we actually mine your existing data and create designs very quickly? So rather than taking X number of days to get the designs out there, can we digitize your data and actually churn out relevant designs with tech packs, with the specs, with everything ready in a matter of seconds? That's one thing. A lot of large number of real-time decisions have to be taken. And if you really look at our industry, fashion industry, the front end has been digitized, the back end is still analog. So I know what is selling. Everybody's been talking about internet and how it's going to change the world and all that. But can you imagine the journey a garment, and a lot of us who are in the industry will know that back end, the garment journey is actually doing the same way as it was maybe 40 years ago, 50 years ago, where the garment is being manufactured, that tech pack goes in, master sample kaat rahe hain, and all those things. So how can we digitize and automate, again, using artificial intelligence and machine learning? Those are important things companies really need to do if they want to reduce their reaction time, how quickly they can improve and react quickly to market changes. So what our solution, BlueKaktus, specifically designed, work for the fashion industry, completely digitizing operations. So the first step that we work with companies is digitize their back-end operations. So you have that entire information. For example, CAD, if data is there, it's there, but it's not really digitized because you can't mine it. It needs to be smartly tagged. It needs to be smartly, and the effort to tag that data should be minimal. Second, provide single source of truth, single version of truth, and all stakeholders, not only internal as well as external. Could be your suppliers, could be fabric suppliers, garment suppliers. All those suppliers need to be integrated so that you can, give them timely information, and decision making can be automated. So from the time you decide you want to make a garment to the time you actually have it on the production floor, it should be in a matter of days. Companies are typically taking months to take those decisions. And as a result of this, what ends up happening is a company, when they're trying to look at inventory levels, they're having complex algorithms trying to predict 2 months from now, 6 months from now, what is going to be selling. Obviously, nobody will get it right because fashion keeps changing. And so 6 months later, you've got 2,000 pieces of a garment where you can sell 1,000, and whereas you have 2,000 pieces of another garment where you could actually potentially have sold 10,000, and you really can't react to it. So the whole idea is use technology and AI to automate a lot of this decision making and crush this particular reaction time to and improve speed to market. So that's just a quick steps. You first digitize your enterprise. Have a very flexible and scalable solution. Integrate your supply chain. When I take integrate supply chain, everything, that means all the different departments, design, buying, even sales, right from fabric, even garment vendors, integrating that, putting them on a single platform where they're actually seamlessly communicating, and again, using AI and ML to automate those decision making. First step is digitize. Some key things, which areas where people can work upon, and we can discuss in detail if anybody has any questions. Look at TNA, how do you track? People in the trade will know these terminologies. Automation of costing. People spend too much of time. For example, if I want to get a garment for 300 rupees, trust me on this, if anybody's worked on the supply chain, it'll goes back and forth 5 times, 10 times. Because nahi wo kam kar dein, aisa kar dein. How do you get the right price? Because that is very critical. And managing your product life cycle, automation of your tech pack creation, automation of your capacity planning. How do you do your capacity planning? Because again, a lot of time is spent in negotiating this aspect with the manufacturers, with the supply chain. And active merchandising tool. People have talked about it, but I think active merchandising is another very, very big area where people can use, again, AI and ML to be able to take smart decisions about how to order. So eventually, the way the industry is moving, it's moving towards smaller order quantities and more quick and more often ordering. That's what this, digitizing your supply chain will enable us to do. Okay, so just some benefits, and you don't need to spend too much time on it, but big reduction in your cost of capital. So I'll just have a quick 2-minute video to show, and then we'll wrap up. We're done? Well, we started 2 minutes late, so we're done. So just 2-minute video. Just quickly, and then. In today's hyper-competitive market, companies and manufacturers have to strive on a daily basis to stand out in terms of efficiency and productivity. As customers continue to demand shorter lead times, apparel industry faces a big challenge to ensure that their supply chain is responsive and able to meet quick turnarounds. Growing competition is leading to price wars, leading to huge pressures on the bottom line. Not just this, increasing cost pressures due to rising salaries of staff is another problem that needs to be dealt with. In order to keep pace with competition in such a fragmented vertical, we have developed BlueKaktus, a state-of-the-art technology-based, specialized application built by the apparel industry for the apparel industry. This flexible, scalable, and intuitive solution is easy to use and quick to implement, which leads to timely tracking of activities through alerts and notifications by implementing time and action calendar, real-time quick check and inspection tracking by implementing quality module, reducing manual workload by automating most of the processes like order entry, data capturing, etc., suggesting best fit costing through the costing module, ensures seamless collaboration and communication between internal and external stakeholders, automating the routine and clerical tasks through artificial intelligence and machine learning based tools. BlueKaktus has been able to change the business face for many of its users. Companies such as Arvind Lifestyle Brands, PM Pro Exports, eBay, and many other such fashion companies have seen significant improvements. These include improved merchandiser productivity by 150 to 200%. Digital report analytics has helped in reduction of lead times by 15 to 20%. Enhanced buyers' trust by getting them to have a better control on their inventory. Significant cost savings of 5 to 8% in a span of just 6 months post-implementation through reduction in inventory, manpower, and delays. Increased OTIF led to higher customer satisfaction, leading to higher trust from customers and greater business for them. To know how BlueKaktus can help your company, please visit www.bluekaktus.com. Right. Thanks, guys. Thank you.